Hello guys, this is Alberto. Today's video will be about replacing a power steering pump for a Honda Civic. Use this pump. It's also is used in the Accords and also Honda Odysseys and other vehicles for Honda. I'll be showing some tips, installation, how to adjust the belt, and do final checks before we test the pump. And here I am. The tools are simple. Just some pliers to squeeze the clamps of the hoses, which is this. You could use any of those, but I use this. This is a 3/8-inch ratchet. This is a 10mm socket and 12mm socket. Screwdriver maybe just to try to push the hose of the clamps from the tube in the system, because sometimes it gets stuck. You can use the Honda steering fluid, which is this, and part number it's the 08206-9002. There's some links below on my video in case you need to purchase it online through Amazon. You can also use Honda approved steering fluid from AutoZone or any other parts store. Make sure you don't, it says for Honda vehicles. There's another ones that don't say that, and these are specifically made for Honda. If you don't find it, you had to buy the one from Honda. You can, okay, so this is a car, and the power steering only has a small leak. The fluid lasts maybe 3 days, so I don't want to keep adding more fluid into the fluid reservoir for the power steering. So that's the reason I'm changing it. Started with a small leak and eventually started leaking more, and that's because the oil seals inside the pump that are underneath here. You can either buy a new pump from the dealer. That's gonna cost you well above $200. If you go to the auto parts store or online, most likely it's going to cost you $160 plus the core charge is another $35, so it's about $200. You can also buy it remanufactured. That might be about $140, or you can buy it used from your local junkyard. It's up to you. And what I'll be doing to remove it is first take these negative ground cable from the chassis to the engine, which is right here. It's a 10mm bolt, and then it's very simple. It's 12mm bolt here and here to loosen up the pump, and this is just to adjust the pump higher to create tension on the belt. The belt tension should be about 1/2 inch deflection when you push it. You can measure it, or you can estimate it by pushing with your finger like so down. All right, I'll start getting the bolts loose, and then I'll show you how to remove it. So I'm gonna start loosening this and the one on the bottom. All right, guys. So I'll loosen up the bolt, which I'm gonna, and the one on the bottom and one on the top, and I loosen these bell adjusting knob. You can count them to make sure that's what you had it before, and most likely it's gonna be that way. I counted for 40 times in reverse. So now the belt is loose, so I'm gonna pull it out. It's out. Then I'm gonna take the lower bolt, and then it doesn't have to come out all the way, just a little bit, I would say. And then this one. once it's out, well, I guess I'll take this one out. And the one on the bottom, just in case. The next step is to remove this clamp right here. Squeeze it and pull it out, and take these two bolts here. They're 10 millimeter, and collect the power steering fluid that may come down. Mine is empty, so it should be fine. Then we put the other pump. You may need a wrench to take this. I'm sorry, a extension to take them off. So you can just add this 6-inch extension to your socket and remove it. So I'll continue in a minute. All right, so you see I squeeze the hose. I squeeze the hose clamp from here to here, and then you pull the hose out of the pipe, and you can put some paper in there so it doesn't leak. Then you get your 10 millimeter socket with the 6-inch extension, and then you remove the piece, remove the bolt. I moved this one already, it's broken, and this one right here. I'm trying to situate my camera. And then the other bolt. So loosen them up, take them out. You probably have to put the hose on the back. Get it out of the way. And then we'll continue. So I'm moving the second bolt for the return hose for the power steering pump. Then I'm gonna set it on the back, then put the new pump. Okay. After we take the second bolt, then you just squeeze, shake it a little bit, and then this return hose comes out. Just put it on the side, and you might have to work with it to get it off. I'm gonna move this over, then we'll remove the pump. This has the power steering pump reservoir has a plastic piece that let it sit here, so you just have to kind of move it that way, up and over. Then it gives you more clearance to remove the pump, like so. It's getting caught and go with the reservoir and the belt. As you see, the leak, it's on the bottom of the pump. I doubt it's from the hose, and we'll replace it with the replacement. Okay. On the replacement, I'm going to add some steering fluid in here, power steering fluid. I'm going to move the wheel and keep cleaning it for a little bit. Make sure it's clean of impurities. The rest just will move around, and then I can suck up all the fluid and replace it if I need to. But it looks pretty clean when I got it from the parts store. there's two places where you can put the fluid, which is here and this. It takes a while to go in, and then just spin the wheel. Make sure you don't get fluid in these pulley, riveted pulley, because then the belt is going to start slipping. So the fluid went just on the casing. Spin a few times. The fluid went already inside, and it's going to come this way. So you just need to kind of do this a couple of times to get any impurities or all moisture that it may be there and from the oil pump. And also we're going to leave some before I install it so the pump is not running dry. So I'm going to clean it up, and I'm going to do it another time, and then I'll put it back in with fluid inside. Okay guys, so we got the new pump. I already cleaned it, circulate some fluid through those two holes, this one and this one, spin it, and installation is a reversal. Just push it through here, align this one and this one with the bolts on the bottom, and then we're gonna adjust it like so. Just gotta push the belt in there, and we'll continue. I forgot to mention before I put the belt on the crankshaft on there, check the belt, make sure it doesn't have any signs of cracks, drying. This is a decent belt because I replaced it probably 3 months ago. It's kind of worn out. So then before you install it, and then we're gonna put it on there. So we preset the bolt on the bottom, the one on the top, which is that one, and I started to twist these bolts. Right now I'm on 37, 38, 39, and 40. And that's, you'll remember when I said that we had to check for deflection. The belt is still a little loose, so I think I'm gonna give it, oh, never mind. I'm not gonna do that. I still had to turn up the bolts. Once I turn the bolts, then the belt is gonna get tight. It's before I turn it up even more. So we're gonna turn this one up and this one over here. Then we'll see what is the adjustment on the belt. Okay, so we got these bolts almost tight. And okay, this one is tight. Then this one too. All right. Now we check the deflection. It's about ½ inch. How do I know? Well, because I know it's hard to show you guys, but once you push the belt down, it should not deflect down or sideways more than half a belt. So as you see, I can't twist it more than half. So that's a good sign. We did the 40 spins. We didn't change the belt, same pump, well, different pump, but the same measurements. So there shouldn't, these 40 on this adjusting screw, that should be fine. Now the next step will be to put the returning connector. So that's what I'm gonna do. There's 10mm bolts. So one goes in here, the other one goes in here. Then we're gonna put our hose back in there. I'm gonna put a little bit of fluid both here and here before I assemble the pump. That way there is liquid inside the pump. Okay, so here's the part where we put a little bit of fluid. That one is full, and this one is going to be the hard bore. Okay, doesn't seem to spill much. That's almost perfect pour. Make sure there's no debris, so both are full. And I will proceed to add the connector, which is this one, and the hose. All right, so when it gets set up, done up, I'll show you. Okay, I'm about to put the hoses. These hoses, I stick a piece of paper inside and to clean the inside. You also clean the walls of these pipe, the intake pipe for the Bernstein fluid. You clean it around. I already clean it. And then it's better if you put 2 clamps or the screwing clamp. That way you have a better grip on the hose. I'm putting both since I have 2. I only had 1 before. There might be just a little bit of the leak, so I'm gonna put both. Now it's dry and it's going all the way in. Now I'm just gonna bring it down, and this would keep all leaks from going down through that piece. So this one seems to be going all the way down, and then I put the other one just in case next to it. Oops. Okay. All right, like so. Try to make them touch, which I just did. Okay, that should be a good tight fit. And once we turn it on, there should be no leaks. I apologize for getting the camera on the way, but that's how it gets. I noticed that the fluid went down through here, and it's imperative that there is no air in the pump. But when you replace it, the air would still go out. But the best thing we can do is try to fill it as much as I can and fill the reservoir. and then that will be these would be the last part that we put the connector in there. Then we'll start the car and see how everything went. Okay. Pour some more power steering fluid. It's not going down anymore, so it's kind of halfway. So now I'm gonna put the connector. You may have to move it around when you put the connector, since it's not that easy to put it. Okay, so you shake it in and kind of guide the bolts, and then we'll tighten them up. Give it a little bit of torque. These were hand tight, which is like 5 foot-pounds, but my range doesn't go that low. So hand tight should be fine. The O-ring was fine. If it leaks some, then we'll replace the rings. But okay, there you go. That's hand tight. Make sure it doesn't look. You clean all leaks, all spills before we turn the car, and these will give us an indication if there is anything that I didn't turn up properly or any leaks in the replacement pump. Okay, now topped off the power steering reservoir. It should take just a 12 ounces bottle. The level where it's supposed to be, it's I'm trying to see if I can get that with a flashlight, try to show where the level is. There you go. You see it's clear, so you can barely see, but it's on the right below the bottom line, which is minimum. So we just need to add a little bit more. About right there, and probably a little more because someone's gonna go into the pump. So there you go. That's our line. The line is right above the bottom line, so it still needs more. It's hard to tell because it's clear, but I'm gonna in there probably, like I said, the whole bottle and probably a little more. I try to use everything that has to go in there. I don't like to spill any hydraulic fluids. Okay, now we check one more time. I have to put it on the right spot. Okay, the line now is on the upper line. You can barely tell, but it's there. Usually when you put a flashlight to the hole, you can tell, but what is it? There you go, right in there. But it's clear, but it's still there. There you go, you can see how much of a flashlight. Alright guys, I know I've spent some time filling here, but it is important that it must be on the upper part. Plus we're gonna check after we turn on the car. Equipment without the right amount of fluid, like the transmission, brakes, which is right there, must be on the upper line. In this case, is right here, and it's topped off. It's a little dirty. I'm gonna clean it, and I found the oil dipstick is right here. Right there, and your transmission dipstick. For those who don't know, it's right there. Check it when it's the transmission fluid. You gotta check it when it's a flat surface and it's been running for 2 to 5 minutes. The engine oil must be checked when the engine is cold. But anyway, so I'm gonna do a little bit of cleaning, and I'm about to start the car. Then you get to see. Then we'll get to see if there's any leaks. As you see, I pretty much keep it clean. I don't see any more places where I need to clean before I checked, before I start the engine. Yeah, this is just paint. And I'll clean the pressure wash around here with a pressure washer. That way we see that there's no more leaks. All right, guys, time to start the car. Make sure there's no tools around. I know some of you all don't know how to check the fluids, but there will be some people who never done this before and they forget about their fluids. Which wiper fluid is that one? And for your coolant, you always check here, and you topped off also on the reservoir. And this is your cap for your radiator, but you don't have to remove it. Just make sure your coolant is full. This one, the line is above and it's about in the middle. I'm gonna put a little bit of coolant, but it should never go above because the car gets pressurized when it's running and needs space to release that pressure. So that's why it's a reservoir. So, all right, let's start this car and we'll see what happens. All right, guys, so we're gonna turn on the car. Okay, everything seems good. I already topped off the reservoir. I topped off the coolant. Check the rest of the fluids, they're all good. And for what I see, there's no leaks anywhere. And pump is working fine. So it looks like we did a good job. Almost the steering wheel. Sorry. Wheels turn. Makes the normal. This is the tire noise, but this is all the way to the left, all the way to the right, and pump is working fine. So I appreciate it for everyone visiting my channel, and I'll continue to post material on replacing parts on your engines.